Welcome to another episode of Day Sports. It has been an up and down weekend if you're following UFC and rugby league, that is for sure. Jumping straight in, UFC 308. People talk about Sunday Scaries. Sunday Scaries is waking up at 4 a.m. to watch two of your favourite fighters fight, then seeing Robert Whittaker have his teeth broken, and then straight after that, seeing Max Holloway get knocked out for the first time ever. That's all before 6 o'clock in the morning. How's your morning going? Yeah, good. Fucking sick. That was Sunday morning. A little bit of a rough one. Missed, I guess, the early prelims and the prelims that started, I think, like midnight. Can't say I was staying up. I had a mate being like, yeah, bro, we're going to stay up and drink and watch the whole thing. I'm like, nah, I'm too old for that shit, honestly. I'd be written off for a good week after that if I tried to do that, but caught the main card. Just going to kind of recap and highlight the Robert Whittaker and Chimaev fight. So that one, I really thought it was a good one for Rob. Pretty much whoever won that could potentially be the next title fight. I still think Strickland probably be ahead, but I think Rob had already done enough to go and get it done. He's that guy that has always taken on the really tough fights that no one wants to fight, and he's been doing that pretty much his entire career. And, outside of him and Izzy have cleared out that middleweight division. And then here comes Chimaev. We've all seen what he's done over the last few years, but kind of inactive, hasn't probably solidified himself 100% yet, but I think he's definitely done that after this fight with Rob. Sadly, didn't really give Rob the opportunity at all. Shot the takedown pretty much straight away. Rob did really well, sprawled great, got up on his feet a few times, but Chimaev has just got smothering pressure, just took him straight back down, locked up the face crank and managed to snap his front teeth and push him back in. So Rob tapped straight away, understandably, and the photos after just look disgusting. Makes me wonder why people ever do that sport. But pretty shitty start, and that was one as well. Deep down, you're like, whoa, it's going to be a tough fight, but if there's anyone that can do it, it's going to be Rob. And it just didn't work out that way. So hopefully he heals up and everything will be sweet. And then straight after that, seeing Max get knocked out in the third round by Ilia Topuria is just brutal. Max never been knocked out before. I think he's been knocked down once before, and that was in that fight against Gaethje, I believe. Probably nearly got knocked down by Poirier, but the fence kind of saved him. But has the best chin pound per pound probably ever, considering the amount of strikes he's absorbed. But it does start to stress me out a little bit because you see so many fighters, they have this granite chin and then they get knocked out for the first time and it's fucking kaputs after that. So I'm a little bit worried. I guess we won't find out until Max does fight again. But yeah, he was looking good. Ilya, we've seen how dangerous he is, what he did to Volk at the start of the year to become the champion. But I thought it was a good matchup for Max. And he looked like he was, really starting to get in the groove, find his range, find his timing. He was starting to bust up Ilya, really working the jab. His boxing was looking good. Ilya was chopping at him with the calf kick, which did not help everything, did slow Max down. But, coming into the third, I would have potentially had it one apiece. Even, some people might have said two towards Max. Depends how you're scoring it, how the judges were looking at it. But, I thought Max was doing well. He was cruising. He was starting to touch Ilya as well, slow him down. But fuck, has he got some hands. He's got some power, some absolute dynamite. He cracked Max and you're like, holy shit, and just put it on him. Combinations to the body, to the head, just all over, and then just cracked him. What was it? Was it with a left hook, but sent him down to the canvas? And yeah, we've just never seen that. So yeah, that's fucking sick way to start the day. Just going back and forth with my mates, in the morning, just been like, yep, we quit UFC, we're done with all this. It's pretty rough. Seeing those guys, it's just, and Volk losing earlier in the year, it's just not been a fun time. I'm a big Israel Adesanya fan, so seeing him lose, it's really weird. Kind of the last nearly 10 years now that I've been watching UFC, MMA and events like that, you've kind of come to be watching these fighters all the way through their career, and a few of them now probably more so to the tail end of it. You got real obvious examples. You got your Donald Cerrone's, your Tony Ferguson's, guys like that, even Steve Page, John Jones, all those amazing fighters. But they're really starting to come to the back end of things, and this new era of champions and fighters are starting to take over. You've got your Islam Makhachevs, you've got Ilia Topurias, you've got your Dreykus Duplessis, all those guys coming through, and then Chimaev, people like that. Where Max has been doing the damn thing forever, Rob's been doing the damn thing forever. So it is a bit disappointing when you start to see those guys, and do not take that by any means that they're done or aren't top top 5 people in their weight class. They're still going to beat pretty much everyone, at least at this stage. They still got a long way to go, but we are starting to see that sort of transition. And it kind of is what it is. So, not ideal. Just a real quick Pacific Championship recap. So, Port Cook Islands, they got pumped 56 to 6 by Fiji. Just about every single person on Fiji scored. It was, a bit of a pumping. Michael Jennings, he got a hattie in there. I think Sivo picked up 2. Who else was it? But there was many tries scored on that one. Cook Islands, I just don't think they've got the depth and the personnel currently to be able to compete with a team like that. A few people that could have potentially been playing for them, I think, have been injured or just, weren't selected or whatever's kind of happened there. But, a bit unfortunate, but, these things take time. And then turns out that Tane Milne turns into prime JT when he's kicking. I think he kicked something like, I think they had 8 for 10, but he only kicked... I think he kicked 7. So still fucking pretty good. Not too bad by old Tane Milne. Watch out if he was still playing. He'd bloody be slotting them for days. And then Australia, they go on to beat New Zealand 22-10. So proving again that we're just the best rugby league nation. I don't want to say that too early, given everything that happened last year. We went through, beat them in the earlier game, and look what happened when it comes to finals time. So not going to get too far ahead of myself there, but we did get it done. I thought New Zealand, they were solid. It's their first week playing Australia. Second week, I think we started to gel a little bit better. New Zealand kind of just having those teething problems that we would have had the week before against Tonga. We're just clicking, things looked a little bit better. Lindsay Collins, though, he got on the getaway sticks and ran about 40 metres to score a meat pile after getting punished by Olakau'atu. And last week, he's finally had something good come his way. And I swear he must owe Olakau'atu money or something. He's nailed him a couple times this season alone, and definitely in the finals in the last couple of weeks. So, pretty rough one for him. Not great coming up against Olakau'atu and getting smashed like that. But again, he could be a fill-in for Teddy the way that Lindsay Collins goes about his business, leaping over people, the athleticism, busting through 40 metres to score tries. He's all over it. So good to see the big man get it done. Zach Lomax, again, pretty much looks like the best winger almost out there at the moment, but still wants to go play centre. Again, athleticism, in the air is just ridiculous. His ability to get up under the high ball, some of the efforts close to the line there where he scored in the corner, you're just like, how the hell did he get there? So he did great. People bitched and moaned as well about Dylan Edwards in that first game. Sure, it might not have been, Dylan Edwards' greatest game of all time compared to his standards and what he showed us over the last few years, in particular this year with everything he's done with Penrith, New South Wales, everything like that. But he really busted the game open in this. You get that consistency, you get the run meters, try assist, everything that comes along with Dylan Edwards. He looked great. Mitchy Moses, he looked a lot more in the game as well. Actually, that's something that I forgot to even write down. Gussie Crichton had an absolute doozy of a drop ball right at the start. So, Dearden, I think, gave him a nice kind of short ball, ran a good line, busted through. No one near him, no hands on him. All he has to do is put the ball down, and he had it in his good hand. Not the 4.51 where he's got a bit of a cut off, but he had it in the good hand and just butterfingers dropped it over the line. He would have known, I reckon, too. He would have known, just been like, oh, no, they're going to go up. But, it happens. But, that's why they say when you're a little fella to make sure you put it down 2 hands. And, even the best can fuck it up sometimes. But, unlucky for that one. Luckily, it, didn't come down to 1 try. That would have been absolutely cooked if that had happened. But, Aussies get it done. It was a good battle. But I think Kiwis, they're just a little bit underdone at the moment. I think still having chance there in the 6 was a little bit interesting. It wasn't until far later in the game they brought Nikorima on. But by then it was kind of too little too late. The tides had kind of swung in Australia's way. Monday morning, so quick touch on England versus Samoa. I haven't actually watched the highlights of this, so I really cannot say much at all. But England, they win 34-18. Again, saw highlights, though, of... I've seen some highlights of Dean Mariner. He got that, intercept and I think another try, which was crazy. They passed the ball about 13 times and then he scored. I still love him so much more on the wing than I do on the centres, so hopefully that's where Broncos are going to play him next year. I did see the clip as well of the all-in brawl, more like an all-in kind of push and shove. Don't know, wasn't really a brawl from my eyes, but there was just blokes there just holding about 400 jerseys, so that was pretty funny. But that slides straight into Pacific Championships week 3. So Australia, they're resting this week. First is New Zealand versus Tonga. I'm going to go with New Zealand 1-12. I think it's going to be quite a tough battle. Again, I think New Zealand are going to be clicking a little bit more chemistry. They're going to be travelling a bit better. Tonga are going to be wanting to bounce back after their loss to Australia. But if they play anything like they did against Australia, yeah, they might not have got the points on the board, but I think their defence really held up. They got great middles. They got good building blocks, places to work from. Their goal line defence was ridiculous. So if they can do anything like that, I think they're definitely in for a shot. And New Zealand, they got the forward pack to start rolling forward. If they can just start, linking things up in the halves. I think Shawnee Johnson, he went well. His kicks were you wouldn't think old mate had like 2 months off. So it'd be nice to see him go out and get a win and then for them to move on. But yeah, I guess we're just going to have to see what happens. It's going to be a hard one to pick. I think it's like $3 underdogs at the moment for Tonga, but I think it's going to be quite close. Very excited to watch that match. I'm not sure what time that one's on, actually. Let me have a look. Hopefully it's not some ridiculous time. Okay, so 5:05 on the Saturday, so that is some prime time stuff. So good one to park up and watch. When it comes to anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Keanu Keaney. He was electric again against Australia as well. I just love watching him play. For such a, compared to all the other boys out there, for a smaller fella, he just runs so hard and just runs it back almost like Edward style. Great footwork, agile as hell. He is so exciting. So cannot wait to see what he brings to that game and everything he's going to bring in the next year. Next game, though, we got PNG versus the Cook Islands. So Papua New Guinea, I'm going to go with them 13+. Kind of hard to have a bit of a deep dive into this one, like I've said in the last couple of videos, just because I don't really know these teams in and out. And that's the beautiful thing about these Pacific Championships. We are starting to get to know these players and teams a little bit more, shines a bit more of a spotlight on them. But it's over in Papua New Guinea in Port Moresby. I'm assuming it's going to be sold out and the crowd will be going off their heads. It's going to be a super exciting game to see over there. So that one is on at 3 p.m. So it'll be Queensland time. So it'll be 2 p.m. New South Wales and wherever our daylight savings is affected in Australia. But yeah, no, that one's going to be great. I'm not liking this one for Cook Islands though. I think if Papua New Guinea can turn up anything like they did against Fiji, it could be a rough one, bit of a bloodbath. Yeah, it's just hard. They just got a bit more depth, a bit more, experience as well, it seems. But I think anytime try scorers, I think there's going to be a million tries, but I think you're going to be in safe hands going with the winger, Robert Derby, to score any time. I think that's easy money. I think he's the shortest at the moment, but yeah, I can see him getting it done. And that slides straight into tip of the week. So I'm going to go with the big man out on the wing, Will Warbrick, up to cross any time. He's just a beast. We've seen him do it all season. He is an absolute handful, strong, fast, weapon in the air. I can see him getting over the line and then jumping into Papua New Guinea versus Cook Islands. Again, I think it's going to be a little bit of a bloodbath. So it would be rude not to get on the winger in Robert Derby to get a 4-pointer. Those two things alone are not going to get you a whole lot of money. It might be about $2, whatever it might be. So if you want something safe, that's probably your go-to. You can't go wrong a couple wingers, but to make it slightly more juicy and only just the slightest little bit more juice, I'm going to go Papua New Guinea 13+. That is going to give you a massive $3.04 at the moment on, I guess, most places. Depending, you might get a little bit more. But look, it's not going to be life-changing, but you might be in for a good shot. So jump on it if you want. I will post that on the Instagram. And if you have liked this video, which was probably a little bit more of a short and sweet one compared to last week, because not going to lie, I'm very tired after, well, today's Tuesday, but I'm already tired. It's been a big couple of days, but if you do like what you heard, like what you're seeing, make sure you like, subscribe, give all the socials a follow. All that is going to be linked in the bio, so get around that. Let me know who you think is going to be winning this week, and I'll catch you guys next week. Have a good one.